What's up, everybody, and welcome to a very special video here inside the media cabinet. Not only is this going to be a spooky video, so for the time being, a little bit of viewer discretion advised. This video does talk about an event that is a little bit in spooky nature, meant for people of older age. Um, they do not recommend going if you're under the age of 13. So today I'll be talking about a channel update for the upcoming months for my channel. As we get into spooky season, so we are going to be talking about Halloween Horror Nights 32 at Universal Orlando Resort. So going to be showing each of the pictures for the houses and going into a little bit of description about what they're going to be this year. I know a lot of people have already done it on their channel, but I have not yet. So I wanted to come on here and do that for you guys. Also, due to the fact that I haven't done a video in a long time, so this is my present to all of you. With all that being said, this is going to be a long video, so let us go ahead and dive into that. I will be reading the descriptions of the houses from Universal's official website. And I got the pictures of the houses on my iPad. So of course, first we're starting off with the return of Stranger Things. Stranger Things 4 is going to throw you into the world of the supernatural villain Vecna. It's up to you and your Scream Squad to stand up to Vecna like 11 and stop him once and for all. You'll be encountering famous locations like Hawkins' lab, Vecna's house, and I forget the name of the character that Robert Englund played, but his house as well. Moving on to Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. Now, there is a description for this house, but I thought I would just go off of what Universal has said about in regards with this house. Now, this is, of course, based on the Sci-Fi USA original TV show, which, by the way, if you didn't see, the Season 3 trailer was announced recently. Make sure to go check it out on YouTube. And basically, the whole part of this, the whole story for this house is Universal invited Chucky, and they are doing a house to represent him, but he has been so badly mocked and made fun of, and he goes to the house and he sees that nobody's being killed, so he basically hijacks the house and goes on an ultimate killing spree to achieve the ultimate kill count. So this is going to be really fun. Good to see Chucky make a return to the event. Up next, we have Naughty Dog's and PlayStation's The Last of Us. Been playing this for a while now, and it's going to be really cool to walk through the post-apocalyptic world of Philadelphia and see all the clickers and the hunters and everything. We saw in a commercial recently the teaser, the Scream Squad teaser for this year. We saw one of the clickers, and I think this is going to look really, really cool. I've seen one episode of the show, but that's the thing. This is not going to be based on the show. This is going to be based on the video game solely. So this is going to be really fun. Can't wait to walk through this one. This one is very high on my hype list. So next we have The Exorcist Believer. Now, they did The Exorcist in 2016, but they did it based on the original. Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood did it again a couple years ago. And to this day, The Exorcist will always be known as one of the most scariest possessive horror movies, and it's the only one that I've been able to watch. Um, I don't know how I feel about this movie from seeing the trailer, and due to the fact that the movie's not going to be out until October, when the event is almost over, we're basically walking through a living trailer. We're not walking through a living movie. Um, so I don't know. It may be good. It may be bad. From what I saw in the trailer, I'm not really excited for it. So I know Blumhouse has done better. No offense to Jason Blum, but I think we're just gonna have to wait and see on this one. Next, we are moving into originals. Kicking things off is Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate. This was a awesome dueling roller coaster that was in the Lost Continent section of Islands of Adventure before it got turned into Dragon Challenge with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Hogsmeade, and then it got demolished and turned into Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure. Um, this is going to be extremely awesome because the house is actually going to be broken down into different paths that you can go, and it's going to have multiple endings. I'm excited to see the exact location of this house because the sound stages are big and they can really pull off a nice house with something like this with this property. So I think this is going to be really cool. Of course, the story for Dueling Dragons is awesome, so can't wait to see how this one plays out. Next, we go into the kind of the whole tie-in story for this year with Dr. Oddfellow, who's like our icon this year. Now, the cool thing about Dr. Oddfellow, he was first introduced, of course, with Jack the Clown in HHN 10 or Halloween Horror Nights 2000. Um, and Jack, of course, worked for Dr. Oddfellow, and Dr. Oddfellow cut him up, put him in a box, and yeah, the rest is HHN history. Um, and there's a whole mix with immortality and everything. So this is gonna be really cool. It's kind of like gonna be a funhouse circus style environment. So can't wait for this one. Really looking forward to it. Next, now when this one was announced and I read the storyline for this one, it got me so hyped. Universal Monsters Unmasked. This is taking place in the catacombs of Paris, and we got an awesome rogues gallery of monsters here, folks. We have the Phantom of the Opera, the Invisible Man, Hunchback of Notre Dame, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Now, Universal Monsters has became and will always be a staple for Universal due to the fact that they basically created the horror genre. And you know, of course, one of my favorites being Dracula. Um, it's I've never watched any of the original Universal Monsters. I know I may get a lot of hate for that in the comments, but anyway, this is an awesome lineup of monsters that we're gonna encounter, and I just think this house is gonna be absolutely awesome. Next, we have the comedy house of this year, Yeti Campground Kills. What's fun about this one is it's of course giving off that vibe of like a summer camp, Jason Voorhees, sleepaway camp, and everything. But that's not who's going to be in the house. The house is taken over by Yetis. Yeah, it's not Yetis. A lot of people saying it's Bigfoot, but it's also a side story from the Slaughter Cinema House that happened in 2018. This is being noted right now as the comedy house for this year, and I think it's going to be really fun. It's not really high on my list right now, but you know, who knows? It may get a good laugh and everything. And next we move on to the darkest deal. Now this one does sound really fun. It's giving a like Devil Went Down to Georgia vibe, where a famous blues singer, um, on the journey of fame and stardom, uh, gives a price, is given a opportunity, but the price to pay is his soul, to a unknown figure known only by as the Collector. Um, and we go on this journey to see if he made the right choice with fame and fortune, or does it eat away and become nothing but fear and danger? So I think this is gonna be kind of cool. I'm expecting like an awesome like blues soundtrack in this house. So I think this may be really enjoyable. And finally, our 10th house. Yeah, I really don't have much to really say about this house. Um, I don't know how I feel about this house. Um, it's called Blood Moon Dark Offerings. And the whole description of this house is colonial cult followers worshiping and making a sacrifice to a blood moon. It sounds good on paper, but I really don't know how it's gonna play out, honestly. It's interesting. It really does. It sounds it sounds like it's gonna be fun, but I don't know. I really don't. It's making me think back to Fiesta de Chupacabra last year, where it was an okay house. So, but you know what? We just gotta wait and see. So, and finally, we are now moving into our scare zones of the year. Of course, the main scare zone that we're going to encounter when we walk into the park is Dr. Oddfellow's collection of horrors. This is, of course, going to be like an introductory scare zone, showing off, a little bit from each of the scare zones of who we're going to experience and what we're going to see. So this is of course going to be in the production central location of the park, and due to the fact that with the new Illumination Avenue Minion Land, it's not really that far into the entrance of the park. It's really close up to the entrance of the park. So it may be a little claustrophobic and it may also be bottlenecked, but I think this is going to be a really cool scare zone. There's a lot of awesome props right now that have been showing up. So next we move into Dark Zodiac. Now this is where the whole story with Dr. Oddfellow's involvement in with the event comes to fruition, where Dr. Oddfellow goes into a dark dimension, harnessing the power of the Dark Zodiacs to bring the power of immortality to all of his followers. Um, from what I'm seeing, this looks like it's going to be a representation of Seven from Halloween Horror Nights 21, when Lady Luck was the icon, where it's like seven deadly sins, but instead of the seven deadly sins, it's of course going to be the different zodiacs. So, like Libra, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio. Um, I know I'm definitely forgetting some. Um, I know I'm a Sagittarius, and I know that's like an archer, so I'm excited to see that be represented. And they may swap out each of the zodiacs, but it's all like twisted versions of the zodiacs. So I think this was going to be kind of cool. Great photo zone. Next, we move into and this is going to be in the Hollywood section of the park. Next, we move into Jungle of Doom Expedition Horror. This is going to be, of course, in the Central Park area. Um, and the whole story behind this one is it's kind of like a continuation of the um, uh, Operation Evolution house that was done in Islands of Adventure in the old Triceratops encounter queue, where, of course, Dr. Oddfellow a long time ago did some experiments on humans and made mutated creatures. So I think this is going to be a really awesome house as scare zone as well. It would be real. I think it's going to be really fun. Like they got bats hanging. They got a plane, a parachute. So the props look really cool for the zone. So I can't wait to see this at night. And next we move into Vamp 69 Summer of Blood. In 2016, we got the first Vampire Scare Zone. Um, the number is escaping me and I can't remember. And then in 2018, we got the New Year's Eve Vampire Scare Zone. And now we're going back to a music festival style vampire scare zone. I love vampires, so this is going to be really cool. I've seen a lot of the props. There's a stage, the return of the Purge bus. There's a punch buggy, all decked out with hippie colors and everything. There's motorcycles. So I think this is going to be my scare zone of the year. And and of course this is going to be in the New York section. And finally, our final scare zone, wrapping everything up over in the San Francisco area, is Shipyard 32 Horrors Unhinged. In the recent years, the San Francisco scare zone hasn't really been one of my favorites. I was interested when they did the Invasion scare zone in 2017, I believe it was, and it was okay. But like when they did Dead Man's Wharf, one year, it was meh. It was still good, but it was meh. So I don't know. Maybe this one might be good. Again, it has to do with Dr. Oddfellow, and there's a whole bunch of shipping crates, and it's full of all of his mutations and everything. So this one, I don't know. It may be good, maybe bad. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And of course, wrapping up everything, we only have one show this year, which is a little upsetting, but it is the return of Halloween Nightmare Fuel. This year it's called Revenge Dream. There's a new protagonist, and of course, there's going to be a new antagonist. Explosions, sexy dancers, and just a whole bunch of a great time. So can't wait to see this one. And as you may have also seen on Twitter, they're preparing the portals are out for the entrances of the houses, and there's food tents that are going up. And then of course over at Cabana Bay, they're doing a new pop-up experience this year themed to Chucky, being called Chucky's Twisted Playground, which is going to be an illusion-filled photo op experience. So I can't wait for that. So excited for this year for Halloween Horror Nights 32. And you know what they say. Around every corner, there's that wonderful, wonderful box that puts out that wonderful thing that invites us all into it. The wonderful smell of the HHN fog. So, with all that being said, folks, there's your breakdown for Halloween Horror Nights 32. The event will be running from September 1st to November 4th, this year being the longest year. For information and to purchase tickets, go to www.universalorlando.com/Halloween Horror Nights. You can purchase tickets for Orlando and Universal Studios Hollywood. I will drop the link in the bottom for both websites. I will also be dropping links for channels to keep an eye on throughout the event, including Tim Tracker, Ordinary Adventures, Super Enthused, and The Pew 2, and Oiby. Shout out to all those awesome content creators and vloggers. Most importantly, I would like to send a huge shout out to all content creators and vloggers right now in Southern California who are recovering from Hurricane Hillary. My prayers go out to all of you. Hope you guys recover, especially to Ordinary Adventures, Kitra and Peter. I hope you guys recover well, and take your time with posting videos. You guys got more important things that need to be taken care of, so hope you guys do okay. Um, and with all that being said, to all my wonderful subscribers out there, we are so close to 100 subscribers. Thank you all for checking out these videos, and with Halloween Horror Nights coming up, I look forward to see you in the fog. Bye for now, everybody.